Okay, what's going on, guys? This is Liam, and we have a great video for you today. And by we, I mean just me, basically. But we're going to bring some other people into it in terms of a forum. So, I made a post the other day on my Instagram page, and I said, look, it's I don't know if you've seen it. It's that meme of that school kid stepping over like 6 steps to get to 1 step, and people use it as a meme, and I used it in terms of 1 step was. It's kind of the process of when a person gets tinnitus, and it's pretty much the same story for everyone. Now, whether you get tinnitus from stress, antibiotics like a quinolone, or sleep medication like amitriptyline, or you start taking the pill, or you got this for the the recent thing that's going around that everyone's getting these for, which is so stupid. I don't know why you do that. Whatever caused it, right? Loud noise, it really is irrelevant. So you get that, and then your next step is, you get it for a day, 2 days, 3 days, and it starts to have a really quite serious impact on your life. You can't sleep, you can't work, you can't relax, you can't get a moment of peace, and so you either go onto the internet or to ENT. Now, if you're in the UK and you're relying on the NHS, you're going to wait like a year to see an ENT. It's crazy over there at the moment. It's insane. But regardless, you're probably going to go on the internet. You're going to go on Tinnitus Talk, or you're going to go on a forum, or you're going to ask your friends, or you're going to go onto YouTube or Instagram, and you're going to watch a TED Talk. There's an awful TED Talk with this gentleman, and his TED Talk has millions of views. And the only thing that TED Talk does is it kills hope. I can't remember the name of. You can look up like tinnitus TED Talk and find it. It's this dude who is grossly overweight, doesn't look healthy, and he's talking about tinnitus. Give me a fucking break. So he says, there's nothing you can do. You have to learn to live with it. Blah blah blah. It's just the usual garbage. It's the same thing. We this is the way it is. You can't do anything about it. Well, that's just not true. So the person who has tinnitus is now losing hope in a rapid manner. Their tinnitus either is not getting better or it's getting worse, and so they go and look at, maybe I'll do stem cell therapy, or maybe I'll try this tinnitus supplement, which are all scams, by the way. There's no way possible that a single tablet can get rid of tinnitus. It is impossible. There's too many different causes of tinnitus that a supplement is just not going to cut it. By that I mean, how is a high dose of vitamin C, vitamin E, amino acids, anything like that going to do anything for not getting enough sun, not grounding, not exercising, eating garbage, eating too many plants? We're going to get into plants in this video, actually, on this forum that I'm going to break down. Anyway, so EMF, using Bluetooth headphones. How is taking a high dose of anything or supplementing anything, even collagen, which is, a lot of people do need, it's only in animal products, not in plants. How is that going to help with tinnitus? A supplement cannot fix so many things in your life. It's a scam, but these people don't know it. Then they go to the ENT, and the ENT says there's absolutely nothing you can do. Learn to live with it, learn to habituate. That'll be $200 for the 20-minute session. Oh, by the way, there's this new research coming out, blah, blah, blah. It's this earpiece, you have to use this to learn to live with it. It's only $6,000, plus you have to come back in every 3 months. Here, let me give you a referral to go and get some antidepressants. This is the rest of your life. Have a nice fucking life. That's what they say. And it's absolutely preposterous, incorrect, and it's bordering on malpractice. It's bordering on malpractice, and I'm being very serious about that. Especially since a lot of these ENTs now know who I am. I've actually had doctors recommend me to their patients, which is amazing. Amazing. And I've had clients of mine talk about me to ENTs, and ENTs are very interested. But most of them, and those are, I can count the amount of times that's happened on one hand, to give you an idea. But most doctors rather, ENTs, otolaryngologists, don't give two fucks. Because, they've spent 12 years, 10 years, 8 years in medical school and doing a residency and then specializing. Now they're like $400,000 in debt, and they've been doing it for 5 years, and they know the best, and they do all the, not research, but people don't realize this. Doctors don't do any research. They don't. The research is done for them. They do training courses to keep up, but the training courses are all funded by all these companies that want to make billions of dollars. It's just a big raw. And you guys have to realize this. So anyway, and then what happens usually is people find me and they get silence. That's how it works. That's like the progress. But I tell people, what if you could just skip all that crap in the beginning? And it doesn't matter how long you've had tinnitus for. Like if you spend 5 years, and unfortunately I had someone the other day who, God, I get the most interesting people. This woman who runs a marijuana dispensary all around different countries, and she makes a lot of money. And she said she doesn't smoke it herself, which I said is great. I won't tell you who it is, obviously. But she said she spent $35,000 on trying to silence her tinnitus. $35,000. Now, I've had people who are very rich businessmen and as well as celebrities who spent upwards of $150,000. Point being, they then came to me, and that woman who I was talking about, who owns the dispensaries, her tinnitus is like 50% down now, I think in like 2 months, after like 3 years of getting nowhere and wasting money. It was a waste of money, unfortunately. And a couple of the very rich people have now got silenced, and a couple of the celebrities now have silenced too. So people from all walks of life get scammed. It's just the way that it goes. And, unfortunately. So point being, that's kind of the process of when you get tinnitus or hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, now visual snow. I'm helping lots of people with that. It's just the same thing. It's all just mitochondrial dysfunction. That's all it is. Mold affects mitochondria. Stress affects mitochondria. Blue light affects mitochondria. Grounding, sunlight, positively affects mitochondria. That's just the way that it is. Plant toxins, goitridins, lectins, salicylates, phytic acid, negatively affects mitochondria. Okay? If you eat meat and get the fatty acids and you get the proteins, positively affects mitochondria. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But if you start with the wrong cause in mind, which doctors always say is hair cells, then you're only going to have the wrong solution. Because if you start with the thought in mind that there's nothing you can do because there's no way to repair hair cells, I kind of agree with the fact that you can't repair hair cells. But it's so incredibly hard to break them unless you're in a war zone. And even then, I have people who are veterans who come to me and get silenced after a grenade went off and blew their friends to pieces. And that is a true story. So, shells going, blowing up, hair cells, nothing you can do. 20 years later, come to me and they get silenced. So there's something else going on here. And in my opinion, it's mitochondrial dysfunction. And also, if you guys didn't know, when you expose your ears to noise, as a reaction of that, transforming vibration into electricity, and I'm forgetting the word right now, I apologize about that, but I spoke about it with Dr. Rimka. As a side effect of that, okay, you released oxygenated species which are inflammatory. So when you have loud noise all the time, you're creating an inflammatory response inside of your cochlea. There's studies on that. There's studies on that in humans. What you don't see a lot of is actual visual proof of people going, okay, this, like for example myself, this is Liam. He's played drums for 13 years. He has tinnitus. Let's give him an audiogram, which is bullshit. Now let's give him an OAE test, which is an otoacoustic emissions test, which is supposed to test for, it does many things, but the main thing it did in my situation was they're looking for hair cell breakages using audio. But there's so many different things inside of the ear that could be causing that. There could be calcification, there could be an issue with the three little bones, there could be an energy production issue within the cochlea, within the base of the cells. So it's just totally bullshit. It's just, the whole thing is just a rort. So I said to so many ENTs, where is the technology that you have that can visually show me that someone's stereocellular hair cells are broken? Not using like, the only way they can do it is cut out your ears and look at it afterwards. That's the only way I've ever been shown that you can do that. And what are you going to do? You're going to cut my ear out and go, oh, they're not broken, but now you're deaf for life. There's no going back now. That's a one-way road. Sorry, champ. So the whole thing is ridiculous. It's just a total crock of shit. And if you've been watching me for a while, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. And if you just found me, hopefully you're going, holy crap, this is what I've been looking for. So go through the rest of my videos. They're all free, and go and get silenced. That's all you have to do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through, somebody actually sent me this a couple of hours ago, and I saw this and I thought it was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. But this is the portion. The reason I said in the beginning about just skipping all the bullshit is because going onto tinnitus forums is one of the worst things anybody with tinnitus can do. And you know what? This goes for any field. Like, not even medicine, just recreational things. Like if you're interested in building watches, or you're interested in travel, or you're interested in bodybuilding, or you're interested in dating, or you're interested in furniture building, whatever. I guarantee you, if you can find a forum where people aren't arguing, or people just are not hiding behind their avatars and being very rude and arrogant and condescending and closed-minded, I'll give you $100. Seriously, because you put a big group of people together and you make it anonymous, and suddenly they get so brave, and suddenly everyone else is wrong and they're always right. And if you go on Tinnitus Talk, Jesus Christ, on a motorbike, it's unreal. People tell each other to kill themselves on that forum. I've seen it multiple times. The arrogance is, so you shouldn't go on those forums. But we're going to go through one right now. And the point is, I'm trying to teach you guys that you can go on forums if you want, even though it's a waste of time. But it should be to laugh. It should be to go, oh my God, look how crazy these people are. These people are out of their fucking minds. And don't look at it and go, oh my God, like I'm so confused. What do I do? Oh, this person's... Just go, it's obvious what to do. Liam showed me how to do it. It's common sense. Now let's go and laugh at these morons, okay? So let's read this together. This is just crazy. I posted 1 day ago too, I think. This is Reddit, so I get the basic idea. Okay, I'm vegan and my partner wants to go carnivore. I don't know what that means, CW. Tinnitus, hyperacusis, suicide. Okay, that's very troubling. I hope they find me. I've been vegan for almost 7 years. That's very stupid. Don't do that. And my veganism is something that brings me a lot of joy. The innovation, cooking, amazing tastes. And of course, the thought of doing something right and good and not having animals die or suffer every day. I'm also very sensitive to animal abuse. Okay, real quick, I eat like 99% meat. Here's a video here of me eating meat. I eat about 1.5 kilograms of meat every day. I weigh about 110 kilos. I'm 6'4". I'm a big bloke. Love meat. Feel amazing on it. Bowel movements are great. Mental state is great. Concentration, sleep, sexual function, everything is spot on. Okay? And I would say that my eating habits are probably responsible for 1 to 2 cows, maybe 5 chickens, a dozen fish a year, I would say. Seriously, directly. I don't like factory farming. I hate that. But just, cows frolicking, being treated well. Cows on dairy farms have the best lives. Animals in the wild get destroyed. So if you're a vegan, I would say you're probably responsible for every year, probably collectively like a group of like 100 vegans would probably kill like 30,000 animals per year. And also when a cow gets killed, it's dead. Just a shot to the head, stun gun, just shoots a bullet or a ball bearing into the head, sucks it back in, scrambles its brain, it drops and it's dead. I wish that I could die like that when I'm older and I want to die. It sounds amazing. Just good night. Now when you have a vegan and they're eating, oh God, what do they eat? Pears, oranges, grapes, tofu, soy, oh God, rice, lots of rice, carbohydrates, can't forget that, all this sort of stuff. You have to farm that. So the first thing you're doing is you're taking away natural habitat from all these other animals. And it usually comes from all around the world. Bananas are grown here in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, all that sort of stuff. So, and by the way, you're promoting slave labor, so good job on that. They're killing monkeys, they're killing coyotes, they're killing moles, they're killing rats, they're killing mice, they're killing birds, they're killing deers all over the world. They're poisoning them, shooting them, blowing them up, starving them to death, mincing them up in the combine. I'm pretty sure, and that's all to protect the crops of food that you think is so healthy. So this is what I mean by forums. Stop and think. Please stop and think about what you're doing to the environment, because that stuff's got to get shipped everywhere. You're killing habitat and animals. Use your brain. My partner has been vegetarian when we got together 3.5 years ago, but has since transitioned over to pescatarian and is now on, what are these labels? Just eat meat, come on. I don't mind that per se, of course. Not eating meat is preferred. Why? But if the person I love happens to be a meat eater, that's fine as long as they respect my lifestyle. I don't respect veganism at all, to be honest with you. You're destroying your health. You're putting a lot of pressure on the health systems of the world, and you're butchering animals to death. And also, you won't shut up about it. So, sorry, call me crazy, but I don't respect that. I mean, I've had plenty of people get silenced as a vegan, but it takes longer and it's harder to maintain that silence because you're poisoning yourself every day. Plants are trying to kill you. It's not harder than that to understand, really. Recently, my partner's tinnitus, which has been silent the previous 2 years, broke out again and is now more intense than ever before. I bet he took this. I bet that's what he did. They've developed hyperacusis. That's what I had. Basically, it sounds like their partner. I don't know which one's a man, which one's a woman, or whatever. But not that it matters. But it sounds like they're going through what I went through. Okay, so much sounds cause terrible pain to them. Unlivable. Yep, I get that. I understand the suicide concept. We've tried many treatments, went to doctors, but nothing and no one was able to help. That's because you're going to a doctor. Many treatment options were also way too expensive for us. I'm glad that you didn't spend the money on them. That's a good thing. Lucky you. They're also browsing the forums and respective subreddits. Yeah, I'm going to get my information on Reddit to find things that might help, and many people report that a carnivore diet was the one thing that led to their recovery. Okay, I want to say one thing real quick. You don't need to go carnivore to get silence. You just don't. Most people who come to me, maybe like 10 of them needed to go carnivore to get silence, but there's so much more than just what you put in your mouth. There's the blue light, there's the sleep, there's the grounding, there's the exercise, there's the muscle release, there's the fasting, there's the gallstones, there's the mold, there's the parasites, there's the ketosis, there's the medications that you're taking, there's the people that you live with, there's the movies that you watch, there's the job, there's so many things. Now, you don't need to change all those things to get silence, but you need to look at them and go, which are the ones that are really getting to me? So I just want to make that clear. I'm not Liam Bowen, the carnivore tinnitus guy. That's just one thing that I talk about, but it gets so much flack because people can understand that exercise is good. People can understand that there's benefits to fasting. There's so many books on it. People can understand that alcohol smoking is bad. But when I say plants are bad, they go, oh, they just have like a fucking emotional breakdown and just lose their fucking minds. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you're going to see these comments and these people are fucking ballistic. If one of these was my kids, I would beat them to death with a brick. Oh, a mutual friend and I managed to convince them to... hold on. Neither of us could believe that anything good could come from a carnivore diet, but my partner's suffering grew bigger and bigger and they've become very suicidal. That's actually very sad to hear. That's very sad to hear. If you're watching this video, reach out to me, man. I'll help you. I will. But you have to be willing to change. A mutual friend and I managed to convince him to fight again, which they agreed to. One of the last things they haven't tried is said carnivore diet. There's probably a lot more you could be doing than that. Just people think diet is like everything. It's not. It's like 10%. I hate the idea with every cell of my body, but I don't hate it as much as I fear them losing their battle. Well, that's a good attitude. Be supportive and I can, since hyperacusis makes most ways of cooking near impossible. So it sounds like he's going through, or he or she is going through severe pain. That's awful. I can really feel for you. I definitely want to do it for them, but even the thought of it hurts my heart. Yeah, you'll be fine. You're killing way more animals than he ever will, or she ever will, whatever that is. I know there are some vegans who prepare meat for their family members or work as a chef where they prepare meat, so it's doable. Yeah, what's the big fucking deal? If he's going to kill himself, if he's like, oh, I want to eat dirt, I'd be like, go for it. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't hurt other humans. Sounds like you're... Okay, so here are all the comments. And this is just... The way these people are talking to the person who's begging for help is disgusting. It's disgusting. And notice none of these people are showing their real faces or names. What a brave fucking group of people you are. What a fucking great, valiant thing to do. Sounds like your significant other needs professional help, not a steak. Idiot. Seek professional help. What is this? People think that if you go to a medical professional, they're going to know what to do. Haven't people clued into the fact that medical universities are funded by people who want those doctors to then prescribe their medications, treatments, and surgeries? They got to make their money back somehow. These companies, when they put money into a university, they're like, okay, well, we should make this back times 10 in 3 years. It's a business, right? They're a complement to a lifestyle. Great comment. Great comment. There's no panacea regardless of what people are acting as carnivore influencers will say, and they'll say anything. I kind of get this guy's point because, yeah, as I said, like if someone's like, oh, I'm going to keep drinking alcohol and I'm going to keep smoking marijuana and staying up at 4 a.m., but I'm going to eat nothing but meat and I'm going to get healed. You're not. Forget about it. There's no scientific evidence that suggesting that an all-meat diet can treat tinnitus or hyperacusis. There's no scientific evidence that really holds any water for any diet because you can't do it. You can talk to Bart Kay or look at his videos. He's an actual published researcher. He's incredible at what he does, and he shows that there's no there's mechanistic data which is like, okay, when you eat this thing, this happens, and inflammation and plant toxins. But in order to do that properly, you would need to get a huge group of people from birth who are twins, separate them, put them in metabolic wards, lock them away like slaves, and feed them nothing and control every single element of their lives for about 50 years. It's fucking undoable. It's undoable. All right? So stop this whole thing like, oh, there's no scientific data. Mate, there's no scientific data for any sort of diet to do anything. Shut up. This isn't a harmless decision your partner is making. It will cause unimaginable suffering to sentient beings. Are you talking about veganism or the carnivore diet? I suggest they see a mental health professional. Oh yeah, because they're going to be so helpful. It's just misery for every side except the ones who make money from it. I don't know how that makes sense. Yeah, so basically, we won't go through everything, but like they're just saying the carnivore diet is like, you know, he's not thinking, he's insane, he's lost his mind. Like put him in a straitjacket and force feed him broccoli. They would be like, yeah, you should do that. Yeah. If I swear to God, I should make a fake post like that and be like, oh, like, you know, I'm thinking I should lock my son up and like put him in a psych ward and like feed him drugs and like make sure he wears heaps of sunscreen and force feed him Brussels sprouts and be like, look, if it's for his health, you should do it. But when you eat meat, it's like, you know what? Take him out the back and shoot him in the head. That's better for the environment. As long as it saves one squirrel, you should blow your husband's fucking brains out. That's seriously, I've seen people say shit that kind of reaches that level. They're insane. So this is the person, obviously, who has sent me this link, and they said they put a comment there. So we'll read his comment too. Tinnitus sufferer here. There is someone on YouTube named Liam Stops Tinnitus. He sounds like a great guy. You know, if I knew him, I'd probably ask him to be my best man. Who not only cured his own tinnitus and hyperacusis, true, but he has helped many, many others completely resolve theirs using a number of lifestyle modifications. Exactly correct. One of those changes, which seems to be the most efficacious for most people, dramatic shift in diet, cutting out plants. Yeah, so this guy's actually done the research. Oxalates, salicylates, lectins, blah, blah, blah. He's also a big advocate of fasting, lots of sunlight, protecting your circadian rhythm, detoxing mold. This guy has just done the work. How can you disagree with this? I think it's totally fine to morally disagree with his approach. Sure. I mean, I morally disagree with vegans because you're murdering animals and destroying the environment, but hey, that's just me. And he clearly is no doctor or scientist. No, and I don't want to be called a doctor or scientist because doctors don't know what they're talking about and scientists take bribes on a daily basis. How do they take bribes? If you don't do the fucking research, you know, someone's going to pay for your research, and they're going to be people who want a certain outcome. So we're going to give you $2 million of funding as long as you tell the world our cereal is heart healthy. That's called a fucking bribe. But he is actually getting results for many, many people. Yeah, it's like thousands of people now have gone silence, are suffering from a terrible malady that mainstream medicine literally has no clue about. Boom. Most ENTs will shrug and tell you that you have to live with that unbelievable screeching sound 24/7, affecting your life. My own tinnitus has significantly decreased since following a number of suggestions. Thank God. Best of luck to your partner. People don't understand how truly horrible tinnitus is until they experience it themselves. Amazing. Next person. You are being vegan cottage cheese. Great name. You're being manipulated and used. The only way a carnivore diet is going to help their tinnitus is that they'll be in such digestive misery that it will distract them from it. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but it's just sick. It's like, that's horrible. You're hurting animals. Don't do this. What are you thinking? Like, the carnivore diet's obviously going to make it worse. Like, eat more salad, you know, that sort of thing. It's just garbage. So, avoid forums. People don't know what they're talking about, most people. And if you try and if you try and add something to the mix, which is like, hey, have you guys thought about like this? Like here's like, forget me. Again, let's go back to the example I gave before. Like if you're on a forum which is like car mechanics, travel, as I said, whatever, like creating your own supplements. And you're like, hey, what about this? And like, I've thought about this idea. If people, just, if it goes against their income or their religion, because veganism is a religion, if you go against that stuff, they will fucking lose their minds. There's no win to going on forums. I mean, if you want to do it, but treat it as a joke. When I first went through this, I was pissing myself laughing at these fucking crazy people. They're insane. These people are insane. Anyway, tonight's not for life, nor is hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, Meniere's disease, hearing loss, visual snow. It's just, excuse me, it's just not. You can fix it. Have a lovely day. Talk soon.